G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller, and recently I was reading a book called Trying Not to Try. And in that book, it was talked about this contraption called Mind Ball. And it's two players sit at a table on either end of this table, and in this table there's this plastic tube with a ball in it. Each of the players on either end have like an EEG type thing connected to their head. And the idea is to get yourself into a mentally relaxed state, probably say a theta brainwave or something or other, and that's what moves the ball towards your opponent's end. And the idea is to see who can be the most relaxed and win the game by moving the ball to the other end. And he said what was really interesting in this game, like when the two people are playing, on the wall behind them, you can see a graph that shows their comparable, brainwaves. And, let's say someone on this side is winning and the ball gets closer to that end. What you tend to find is that person on that end gets frantic to try to stop the ball and can't be relaxed. And the person who is pushing the ball with their relaxed brainwaves gets excited about winning and they can't stay relaxed. And he was talking about how it's really about giving up control of what's happening and just focusing on your mental state. And I really think riding horses is another place where you really have to do this. I want to talk in this video about two horses at clinics here recently that made huge changes, and both those changes really had to do with the rider giving up control. The first one was a horse that came here with a chronic rushing issue. In fact, this horse rushes so much that I think the previous owner may have had an accident on this horse from it rushing somewhere and actually passed away, sadly, because of complications of that accident. So, like, serious stuff. Chronic rushing. And all I did with this horse at the clinic was what I call the circle exercise. So if you look at my video, The Principles of Training, Episode 1, Season 1, you'll see me do the circle exercise with Bundy in there. But by the end of the clinic, this horse, with no steering at all, with a completely loose rein and no steering, this horse could just lope a circle with a really cadenced canter, and all the rushing had gone away. The other horse that actually was at the same clinic has been a chronic, like, spook, duck and buck sort of a horse at the canter, and the lady could not seem to solve that issue. And so she came to the clinic, and once again it was really about the same as the other exercise. It was really about giving up control with this horse. And by the end of the clinic, the horse, he wouldn't go, what he'd do is he'd duck off over to one corner. You ask him to canter, and he'd kind of duck and spin and half buck over to one corner sort of thing. And during the clinic, we worked on several different things. And in the end, he got to where he was good and would cruise around the whole arena without steering. And I actually had the rider get off, and I got on him, and just to show her what a good job she'd done, I hopped on him with no bridle on and asked him to canter, and he cantered all over the arena and pretty much controlled himself. And I only did that to show her, what a good job done she'd done. But the exercises we did with that horse, basically there was two things. One of them, I had a video in here about a barn sow mule or a buddy sow mule or a mule with separation anxiety, something like that. If you watch that video, talk about that ear flick thing. I did that partly, and partly was just picking up a higher gait in the place the horses want to be. So if you look at a video on here called The Key to Getting a Young Horse Going Forward and Straight on the First Ride Outside, that I don't need to rehash the techniques, they're in those videos. But this horse got to where he could canter all over the arena and control himself, and the spin, the spook, the buck, things all went away. But the big point I'm trying to make here is those exercises all involve the rider giving up control, and a lot of times the problems that the horses are experiencing are because the rider cannot give up control. So there's a saying that says, in order to get something you've never had, you have to give something you've never given. And in these two situations, a lot of situations, it's all about giving up control. The process that I have really, the first thing I do is teach those horses to control themselves. I mean, before I ever start really doing much at all technical with horses, they need to be able to walk, trot and canter on a completely loose rein, like me not steering, not controlling them, and they need to use the whole arena and control themselves. You know, I like to say, I don't control the horse controls itself. And we have a young lady from Colorado named Kendall working for us, and she has been starting a warm blood mare here that's destined to be a dressage prospect. And, you know, we got her to the point to where the mare could walk, trot, canter all over the place and control herself. And then Kendall's wanting to learn how to rope, so she's been kind of swinging a rope on the horse. So today we put both of those skills together, the ability to be able to control yourself and the ability to be able to swing a rope on her. And Kendall walked, trot and cantered her around the arena while swinging a rope with no bridle on her. And this is a warm blood that a lot of people think that would be difficult with, but it's, you know, it's not really difficult if from the very beginning you can, you know, you've got to stay safe, but you've also got to be able to give up control. And I think that's a big life lesson that a lot of people learn from horses, or something that holds them back a lot of times with their horsemanship is you know, they're giving up control. And there's an old Ray Hunt saying, first you go with them, then they go with you, and then you go together. And that first step, that first you go with them, that is all about giving up control.